Can you see if that Red Bull can's empty?
You might be an addict, Wade.
Fuck!
The first step is admitting you have a problem.
I do.
I don't think he's ever had a problem admitting he has a caffeine problem.
No,
You can make a pot of coffee.
so much fucking.
Oh my gosh, you put grounds in and then water and then push a button! Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time. While our son is distracted, welcome back to the Dime Comic Bros podcast.
We gotta give him a couple of minutes to warm up his brain and his heart.
All three of us are here today. We're in a bit of a time crunch because Spencer has to go to work like an adult.
Yeah, sorry.
Loser.
I have to work. I didn't get to play hooky and have a 3-day weekend.
Loser.
Loser.
We are three special poor boys sitting around a microphone making random grunts and groans. And sometimes those grunts and groans are about comic books and comic movies and TV shows and whatever tickles our fancy.
Collin is currently making coffee, and that is the strange background noise.
Our shtick is that we are poor and we try to read these things on the cheap. And it doesn't always work. It hardly works, actually.
Collin is so poor he reuses his spaghetti water for his coffee.
I thought you were just going to say he reuses the coffee filter, like the paper one. He just dumps it out, rinses it a little bit, flaps it around in the sink.
Tried that. I've known people to use paper towels for that.
Ooh.
Very bad.
Yeah.
The rinsing doesn't do the worst thing in the world. It tastes like camp coffee, you know?
Okay, that's not bad.
Not camp coffee made in a percolator, mind
Right,
you.
just
That's good stuff.
boiling coffee grounds.
Exactly.
Fucking degenerate
He doesn't even know what he's disagreeing with.
Yes, I do. Percolator coffee, fucker.
Wow.
You're still wrong.
I do prefer like a hot pour over though. That stuff's really good.
What a fucking hipster.
I'm not even talking about espresso. I'm just talking about just a funnel.
I'm not even. I know what you're fucking talking about. I'm not even talking about espresso.
Thank you, Collin.
I know what you're talking about. You stupid fart.
We're here
That's like the least hipster thing I've said all week. I like it's decent coffee. That's nothing special.
Understand the difference.
IPA.
I don't understand the difference between the hot pour over and just regular hot pour over with a machine.
Shit, that's what it is.
Usually, like the filters are different and whatever, but the coffee is usually ground more finely, and then it's done like cup by cup instead of by a pot. So it's just different.
I mean, you can measure this to be 1 cup. But whatever. I don't get it. We're not here to talk about coffee. We are here to talk...
But what if we were... What if we were to talk about coffee?
What if we did go see the Barbie movie?
We are.
He's not! He said so yesterday!
Hey, my girlfriend will come with us. She's actually disappointed I'm going with you, so she can third.
Awesome.
We are wearing pink. I will
own anything.
I'm providing you with pink.
No, because you're gonna buy me a shirt that's like 2 sizes too small.
No, I'll
because
give
you
you one
wear
of mine.
fucking tight ass clothes.
I'll give you a button
Whenever
or
I
something.
see you wear clothes, it's like way too tight. I'm like, what the fuck are you wearing?
When do you see me not wearing
And
clothes?
then whenever you buy me clothes, oh my gosh, whenever you buy me clothes, it's like way too small for me. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not a petite little boy.
I usually get
I'm a fat fuck.
I usually get you extra larges. Holy cow, you're not that big.
I'm a 2XL.
Speaking of petite little boys, do you want to talk about Howl's Moving Castle?
Yes.
I do. Now the key question is, Collin, did you actually rewatch it recently?
The key is, Collin, did you actually watch it recently? Of course I didn't, bitch.
Of course not.
But I know it already, so fucking suck my little...
So, yeah, it's a movie. It's a 2004... Do you pronounce it as Ghibli or Ghibli?
Ghibli.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Giblets.
If you say Ghibli, you are, like you commit war crimes, and you are the reason the Holocaust happened.
The
The crowd, the audience is gonna wonder why Collin isn't in this episode. It's because I keep having to censor everything that comes out of his mouth.
Don't say the C word. He gets very upset.
Semen.
It's a 2004 Japanese animated fantasy film. It's anime. Loosely based on the 1986 novel of the same name by English author Diane Wynne Jones. It's a Studio Ghibli movie and distributed by Toho. We know this. So I watched the English dubbed version.
Of course, you have to, because it has Christian Bale.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. It was funny. He loves anime, and he's like, I gotta be a part of a Studio Ghibli movie. I gotta. And he, like, contacted them, and he plays Howl in Howl's Moving Castle.
I recognized a lot of the voices. I did recognize Billy Crystal right away, but, like, everybody else, I was like, I know these voices. I don't know where from, whatever. I had to look them up afterwards. This is a genuinely really good dub.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really, really good.
Yep.
So, did you... I'm assuming you watched the dub, Jacob. I don't think you
Don't sound so patronizing. You watched it too.
Oh, you never watch anything subbed, so that's
not true.
Are you a dub over a sub guy?
It depends on what I'm watching.
Good.
It depends.
Good answer.
It depends on the quality of the dub. Usually,
Not even.
most Ghibli movies have really good dubs, though.
I watch all Ghibli movies in dub.
I've watched.
Wow, Colin's not a complete purist. I'm impressed.
No, of course not.
I just love the
Weed.
coffee going in the background. It makes for very good background noise.
Yeah.
That's me pissing into a pot.
That clip was so funny from last week.
What? I'm lost.
Jacob clipped out that entire piss thing.
Piss thing.
His fire hose. And...
Damn it!
No, it's a Patreon exclusive.
He left the jokes
Just
towards
for
the end.
Jeff to hear Spencer piss.
You can't actually hear him pissing.
No,
which was surprising.
It's just you guys speculating on how I pee.
If people are wondering why there is a rumbling in the background, it's because Collin woke up 5 minutes ago, and if you check the time of the recording,
It's 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
it's 6 minutes. So figure that one out.
He's sleepy. Anywho,
so we have coffee.
we have a world whereas there is technology. He knew what I was talking about. We have a world set in roughly the early 20th century in a world where there's magic but also fun technology and funny boats and ships and stuff, and there's war, and it's all vague as hell, which I thought was nice because the movie's not really about the war in and of itself or what kingdoms are warring with which kingdoms. It's about how wars cringe.
Yes.
So we have witches and wizards.
How it affects love.
It does. I like... Yeah, so we have Howl, who's a wizard.
You also
And then we have...
a menage a trois of curses.
Elaborate.
You have Howl, who's cursed. You have Sophie,
Who's
who's cursed. And you have the fire demon, who's probably cursed?
Kind of.
Kinda?
He's bound.
Yeah, kinda.
He's
They don't really explain
He's bound
it
by a promise.
for most of the movie.
Anywho, so there isn't a lot of plot to this, and I kind of like that. It feels closer to a series of vignettes with after the initial 10, 15 minutes. It's like a series of vignettes with these characters in different cool situations. They're all strung together.
Vignettes.
Vignettes.
He's been dying to use that word.
I love that word.
I don't know what that means.
It's a pretty
Short-
picture.
No. Typically, like,
Penis.
Sure. Like little snapshots of life. Like a vignette is like a...
Vignette.
So, what's a good other thing that does vignettes?
A vignette makes wine.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
You know how...
No, I don't know.
Tarkovsky's Clone Wars. That's kind of a series of vignettes, sort of.
Ooh.
So
Fire alarm.
short clips / I mean, it doesn't have, vignettes aren't just footage, but like short little mini stories that aren't really stories.
You mean
It's just,
Cream
like,
Daddy?
like slice of life type stuff. Like, oh look, it's just cleaning day, you know?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Ew! That's cum!
That's the good type of cream. What are you talking about?
No.
I don't want to know what sort of shenanigans you guys got up to yesterday.
He scares me.
Tell me when.
Collin likes cream. He likes some coffee in his cream.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention, actually. I kind of zoned out because I was like, wow, he does cream after pouring coffee?
Yes.
That's kind of weird.
Ow! It depends on what type of cream / coffee / milk
Papa, it's
it is.
hot.
Does other daddy want coffee?
Not right now.
Wait, okay, back up. Okay, we're talking about cream, jizz, vignettes. Okay, vignettes. There we go.
So, whilst there is an overarching story to this movie, there is plot. It's very light and easily digestible. The focus is more so on the character interactions and the cool settings and whatnot, rather than all of the background stuff. The world building is there, but it's mostly for the sake of... It's not interested in the world building in and of itself. It's interested
It's
in
in the
what
sake of of moving along the story.
Right.
With like certain people's dilemmas that they have in their life, like Howl with him
being a
incur-
little bitch.
being a little bitch. He wants to help, but also like he's still a child,
Yeah.
and his heart's taken away, so he's kind of like in a dilemma. And then we have the ugly fat witch, who's trying to be beautiful and trying to find Howl's heart, and then we also have Sophie, who's literally just trying to live life. Which I like Sophie a lot, because this is like one of the first times I ever saw a anime where our main character wasn't like an attractive person. Because she was cursed to be old and ugly looking.
Yeah. I did read the original book a while back. It's been a while, so my memory's pretty loose on it. But I really like the shifting of themes. The original book is a pretty straightforward, like an American / English European like fantasy book, you know. Versus this is clearly takes place in a very European styled world, but the themes are less about the stuff that the book was about. It was a little bit more intense. There was more like kingdom drama. There was more world building. There was more magic stuff. Versus this is lighter fare, and it's a lot more about the very strong anti-war themes, as this was a direct response to Iraq, and all of that sort of stuff. It comes across as an adaptation that's actually worthy of existing, because it takes the source material and does something interesting with it rather than just being a photocopy. It's stylized entirely differently. The mythology is shifted all around. The characters are fairly different, but it keeps the same ideas. It just focuses on different parts of it, if that makes any sense.
A high point for me was the sound design. Because, oh my gosh, OCD levels of detail. Like, the creaky doors. There's a part where an old lady is walking down like a cobblestone road with a cane, and there's a dog following her, and you can hear his nails scratching on the cobblestones as he's walking.
Yeah.
Like, intense levels of detail in the sound design, and it's amazing.
Definitely.
The
Studio
same thing
Ghibli is
with the moving castle, like just so many exhausts and creaks and groans in the metal
and joints moving and shit like that. I love Howl's Moving Castle. It's definitely like it's probably my number one Studio Ghibli movie, if not for Princess Mononoke and
Suddenly existent gunshot.
what's the other one? Shit.
I'm not sure which one. There's been like 15 of them.
Something of the Valley. Nausicaa.
Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind.
Yes, Nausicaa.
Really?
Yeah, I
think
love that one.
I mean, I like it, but this is definitely higher.
Well, no, for sure, but I just like that. That one, I like a lot. Not necessarily because of story, but literally visually. Visually, it carries me the whole time.
That's the thing, is with... Obviously, we have almost a 30-year difference between those two movies, so a direct comparison kind of sucks. This movie, in terms of detail, is immaculate.
Yes.
It was made in the early 2000s, so I'm sure you can tell that there's a little bit of computer tech going on, but the blending between the rare times they use like 3D models, which is the stuff I despise in anime, that always comes across as really shoddy.
It's so difficult to do.
It's so hard.
The only really way that I found someone is able to do that without it looking like too bad is if it's like a distant shot. It's like from the distance. It's like a character walking away.
Right.
It's like really, really small. Or in the new Attack on Titan Mappa, they were kind of iffy in like the first half of the final season, but then the second half it felt a little bit more like they kind of came into it and figured out how to like, I don't know, mess around with that. But anyway, yeah, I didn't even notice that they used any 3D.
I
didn't
have
either.
a very nitpicky eye for that, just because it's like a really annoying thing for me.
You're
And
such a hipster.
exactly. But I barely. There was only like a handful of times I could even think that it was. The hand-drawn animation for this is immaculate, and the disparity between the animation itself and the background, like tapestry type painting stuff, is. There's almost no difference, and that's the thing that usually bothers me the most about anime in general is it's like, wow, look, you guys can animate figures on top of a painting background that someone else did, whoa. But like the style here in terms of texturing and like lighting is very darn close. They there's a sequence towards the end of the movie in a dream where Sophie's going down a tunnel filled with like hoarded treasure and whatever, and the light reflectivity off of bowls and goblets and coins and whatever while she's walking down with a candle in the dark is gorgeous. Those are painted images. The background and the actual like physical place is just a painting that they put up, and they're animating her moving, but the way that they use lighting on top of the painting itself was gorgeous. They do that so frequently where it doesn't feel like it's a play being put on over a painting, and the animation in and of itself really lends to that because it's so fluid, which for anime is rare. They did not cheap out on this whatsoever. It's genuinely stunning. Some of the designs are not up my alley. Some of them are freaking weird, but like the general character designs and the movement and whatnot are immaculate.
I absolutely love Howl's jacket, but I think he looks way better with like black hair than blonde hair.
Oh yeah.
The white jacket?
No.
Or the black jacket?
The pink black jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. The diamond one. I love that jacket.
I really appreciate the fact that the protagonist isn't a child for once. I have to just say it because I like child protagonists in anime, but it's nice to have a very love-based narrative that isn't based around middle schoolers for once.
Yes.
They're actually adults. That makes me feel less creepy.
And she's an independent adult. Yes.
Yes, Queen.
Yes,
I
Queen.
was waiting for it. I've been to Regal a couple of times, and a couple of times in my life, and there are about 1,000 commercials before every movie that I see, and it's quite often that they'll be like, oh, we've got freaking anime playing in theater 45 of this building on one day of the month. And I was thinking about it last night. I was watching this movie. Like, I would probably watch this movie in a theater.
Yeah.
Because it looks so good.
Absolutely.
It's a great pick.
That's high praise.
That's that's very valid. I've been thinking about going to some of those anime reruns / re-releases at some point.
I almost went to... I wish I went. I almost went to see the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, which is based off of the Jujutsu Kaisen book number 0. It's like a prequel.
Whoa.
I almost went to see it. I didn't, though.
You should have.
I should have, because I'm a weeb like that.
Um,
But I wanted to see the Batman a 5th and 6th time, so I did that instead.
And 7th.
No! My 7th viewing of Batman was in my home.
okay.
With
So it
your
was my
shorts
8th and
off.
yeah.
The only real... I wouldn't really call it a criticism, more like a point of curiosity that I feel like I need to look into is...
Ask.
Oh boy, Mr. Weeb Expert.
As he pushes his glasses up.
So, Sophie is cursed to look like an old lady.
Yep.
And she can't tell anyone that she's cursed or how it happened or why. She magically, physically cannot do it.
Yep.
So she just goes about living her life as an old lady, whatever. During certain moments in the movie, and a lot more towards the end, she just starts slowly reverting back to being her younger self. When she's asleep, sometimes it happens. I'm trying to figure out the link between these things, because she ends the movie without the curse being removed, but she's just her younger self. She just happens to have gray hair. So I know that there's logic to it. I'm just trying to decipher exactly what it is.
So, wait, can I try? I want to try.
Yeah.
All right, so parts of it were like in the dream or when she was all by herself, and I think that's just how she sees herself still. But also there was the part where she feeds the freaking Billy Crystal her ponytail, her hair, and her hair gets short, and that part looked really weird, by the way. And then it seemed like everything after that she was young, so it seemed to have something to do with her hair.
No.
I was thinking it's a vague emotional thing. Obviously, it's I haven't nailed it down because I've only seen it twice, I think, in my life. But it has something to do with her, like, not really caring about it and being, like, emotionally fulfilled in her life, regardless of the circumstance. Because when she's with Howl, it is the most frequent times where it goes away. He doesn't seem to see her like that, even though earlier in the movie he clearly sees her as an old woman. Towards the end, she's getting all confused because he's, kissing her ass and whatnot. And there's something in there. I have a bucket of ideas that I just have to, like, stir around a bunch until I figure it out. But please explain to me and make me smart.
Basically, so to butcher it, basically what it is that she's cursed to look old, and so she believes that she looks old, so she does look old. And so whenever she's more with, whenever she is told that she's beautiful, or basically treated like she's beautiful, she, like, turns into, like, being beautiful again and being, like, young and whatever. But whenever she's just by herself, she's like, oh, I'm old, I look old, oh, I'm gross. But it's basically just like this man is making her feel beautiful, so she does look beautiful. She's never really felt beautiful in her entire life,
right?
So she was okay with that.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm old, whatever, I've never looked pretty anyway. This is how
that.
I look, and this is how I act. I might as well look how I act.
I did like the beginning, right after she's cursed, and she basically gets over it while she's just, like, walking into the wilderness, and she's just kind of, like, talking mad shit to herself and whatnot. I liked all of those little moments where she's like, yeah, I'm old, yeah, whatever. Like,
and hanging out with Turnip Head.
Yes.
I
liked the... Anime plays into a lot of weird stereotypes, some of which are very common with, like, American media. Some of them are different. But something that anime does a lot is, like, old people are gross. Just unanimously, old people are, like, fat, gross, and ugly all the time. Unless it's some specific exceptions. But this movie has plenty of old people in it, but it doesn't, like, portray them as being old, weird, and gross. Even when she is, quote-unquote, old, weird, and gross.
One of them's a straight-up gilf.
Hold the phone.
What? No, it's Howl's straight up, like, mommy teacher, wizard mommy teacher has like a little version of Howl. So she's obsessed. She's a pedophile.
Agreed.
Like all women are.
True.
It's so true. They prove
me laughing at you does not mean I'm disagreeing with you.
I know, but it's so true. I get proven correct time and time again, even around the females that I know, and they're like, I don't know, like, younger than me, but, like, how they say things, like, wow, you are a fucking pedophile. It's just that, like, mom nature that's in women. Pedophiles, dude, I'm telling you.
Okay, I appreciate the fact that the movie decidedly doesn't treat her being old as being inherently at a disadvantage. It's not some, like, moral failing or whatever. She just happens to be old, but it also gives her more freedom to kind of do what she wants with her life, because she doesn't feel like she has to fall specifically into the boxes that she would if she was a 18-year-old girl living the life that she was, where she wanted to do X, Y, and Z, probably find a husband, go on dates, whatever. Like, the stuff that's, like, really vaguely implied, her younger siblings being like, how are you not married yet? Oh my god, like, versus when she's old, she just kind of gets to chill out and do what she wants. She's fine cleaning and hanging out with people and cooking and doing whatever. and she's happier that way.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the fact that it doesn't. It was supposed to be a curse, but ended up being a blessing in disguise. You know.
I mean, yeah. So it was a curse that was given to her by someone who cares about looks and cares about cares about what other people think, and Sophie's kind of like. Sophie is kind of like that because we all are a little bit, but inherently she's just more like whatever. I guess this is what I'm given in my life. This is what I'm gonna have to deal with. She's not someone that's gonna like complain about her life. She's gonna what she's got is what she's gonna deal with.
It's a form.
And I enjoy that.
I think it's her most endearing character trait throughout the whole movie. Is it's kind of like a radical acceptance. Like she's just like,
it is what it is.
Exactly, and it's not.
Fuck it, we ball.
Exactly, not in like a passive like whatever type of way. Like she clearly is like, okay, this is really weird. This is a scarecrow that is following me.
Hello, Mr. Turdup Head. Would you like some help?
Yeah, maybe I should just tell him to stop following me and like randomly point at him, and be like it's just it's a level of.
She's so cute. I love it.
Yeah, whether she's old or young, it doesn't really matter. She's like, look at this literal child pretending to be a grown man wizard.
I love it.
Like she doesn't do anything about it. She isn't like, whoa, you're like a lying piece of crap. She's like, well, you're kind of being deceitful, but whatever. Or all of the magic stuff, all of what's happening with Howl. There is no thought in her mind where she's like, oh, he's cursed and probably looks like a massive weird demon bird thing. I should maybe reconsider what I'm doing. She just doesn't care.
No.
She accepts that it's what
she
she's
accepts
been given.
Life. She accepts everything that's in life, which is nice.
Yes. It's a very conscious choice. It's not her being a passive protagonist.
No, it's just more like, this is life, and that's okay. Not as in like, we shouldn't change things in life, but it's just more like she understands that life is weird.
I think that comes through a lot when she ends up taking in the witch lady, who's the person who has caused her,
has cursed her.
Literally cursed her, caused her the most amount of distress in life, is clearly not a good person. But she takes her in once it's clear that the witch has had her powers removed and whatever, and like can't take care of herself. She's basically senile. She's like, why not? You know?
Ooh, how's little heart? I need his heart.
I have something.
I'm going to shit.
See,
this is why I need a pocket dildo at all times. When he does that, I can just go...
Shove it right up his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Something I don't understand about anime culture, as in, like, most animes, is they're so passive about demons. Like, there was a part in this movie where Sophie was like, oh, it's a fire demon, it's fine. Like, just so easygoing, and it's like, demon usually has a negative connotation with it. They have a very different definition of demon.
Yes, because all their demons are not actually really demons. That's the funny thing. Whenever I see an anime and they talk about demons, it's like it's not like Demon Slayer. Everything that they call everything that they call demons and demon slayers, they're vampires. Nothing is a demon a part of
There's
them.
probably a definitional difference. It's probably like a broad categorization for like mystical being.
Yeah, because also their mystical beings are very well, also spirits are like nothing. They're literally like this tall and they don't float and they have to like crawl everywhere.
That was the thing about Calcifer I loved the most, aside from Billy Crystal being genuinely hysterical. It's just he's a little blob man.
Yeah. Yes.
And he just like kind of like he just crawling over the logs.
Yeah, and he like almost falls. He's like, help, she's trying to extinguish me.
And then he falls into the It's so,
and it still works like fire, though.
Exactly. That animation was really good. It was a sense of... It's something I think this movie nails that I usually have a preferential difference with in anime is they do a lot of physical comedy in anime that I don't like. Mm-hmm. I don't like the really overreactive... yeah, like that more like, you know, I mean, I watch Pokemon because I'm a degenerate.
You
know,
I don't watch Pokemon.
I know. But you know when people get like electrocuted in anime?
Yeah.
And it's like I don't typically find that very funny. And that's something that this does tone down a lot is there's very few moments where it's like this character is now breaking physics for the sake of a joke. Like, there's the one time that Howl comes bolting down the stairs, and that's the closest thing that gets near that at all. Everything else is vaguely reasonable within what we can see the physics of this world work as, and the same thing goes with Calcifer. Is like he has a weight because he has a heart, which I only started realizing towards the end.
Yep.
I figured he was the one with the heart, but I didn't realize that weird rock thing was the heart, and that's why he's like physically heavy. I didn't realize that until at the end when they literally state it. And they're like, having a heart is a heavy burden. Thank you for stating the themes of the movie for me, because I'm dumb.
Yeah.
And I need that. But
Having a heart is a heavy burden.
He's just a cute little blob man.
Yeah,
With
I love
funny
him.
little eyes.
That's why I want to get a cat and name him Calcifer. That's why. That's why I said. That's why I've been saying I want to get a cat named Calcifer for the longest time. No one understood. Just watch fucking House Moving Castle. It's perfect. He's literally a cat.
See,
he's a fucking fire cat.
My Femoid and I have decided that the next cat we're getting, or cat at all, is going to be named Bucket.
Bucket. What the fuck?
Because you can give cats dumb names. If you give your cat a basic name, you're stupid. Like this is David. Like you name your dog David, but you named your cat like Sir Butt Sniffer the 18th, Lord of the
Sir
Litterbugs.
Ballless the Third.
Exactly.
Sir Frederick the Sir Frederick the Sniffer. Bucket.
Anyways, Jacob.
Mine's gonna be cool. Mine's gonna be Calcifer.
I'm gonna steal that from you.
No.
I actually had multiple moments in this movie where I got a little giddy. Like a little, sitting on the
No,
couch.
really?
Like a little,
Not surprised.
when I watch anime, I never get that.
I don't know. So whenever you say, I actually got a little giddy in this movie, or I actually shed a tear this movie, I'm like, whoa, what a surprise.
I know, I cry at everything. I mean...
Yeah, you do!
I was watching... Because, again, this is a medium I'm not a huge fan of, and I'm not really into, intuitively. I have to, consciously think about watching anime. And then
that's me now. I actually don't watch anime as much anymore. There's a few things what you see on my shelf. That's pretty much it.
We did it, boys. We saved him.
Yeah. No, it's just there's.
That didn't sound
I
good.
actually.
Yeah.
There is a peak to anime, and I hit it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
for sure.
wow, shit.
But it's...
Berserk, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Chainsaw Man, and yeah.
Collin has climaxed in his anime.
I have actually.
Yes. It's all downhill from here. It gave me there were a few moments where I just thought were genuinely funny. Not in I'm laugh, it felt like the screen wasn't there. If that makes any sense. It wasn't like I'm laughing at a joke. It was like I'm watching characters do silly things that it feels like they're right in front of me doing dumb silly things.
Yes.
Like wrapping a rope around a scarecrow to pull a plane out of a house's mouth, mind you. It's just funny. I don't know. There's something about it. It's just ooh, you like it?
What the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, I love this movie so much. It's so great. I have no complaints about it ever.
Well,
Funny dog looks weird.
I love the dog.
He's like a bird.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the dog.
Yeah,
He looks like a Pidgey.
Did we ever get a name for the dog?
Yes, but I don't remember it. He is dog.
he's
Dog.
dog.
Doge.
I love the fact that he makes wheezing noises instead of barking.
Yes.
He's
Like that.
Collin at all times.
Literally.
Anyways.
Yeah.
After talking so long about a movie that brought us joy and pleasure, we should talk about a movie that caused us pain and
Distress.
I was gonna say suicidal tendencies.
Immeasurable disappointment. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes, came out a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Something like that.
By the time this recording is
Fucking ass.
released.
Fucking hate that movie.
Can I have the same point I did about the last movie?
Yeah.
The soundtrack is awful
Yeah.
because you have 4 Guns N' Roses songs. No, sorry. It starts out with the meme song. Who can say? Who cares? And then the rest is GNR songs, and then in between are just a couple of literal placeholders songs of just characters are moving and then they end and then the scene begins. So if I ever see this soundtrack in a store, I will find an employee and ask them if they're serious trying to sell this.
So the only good part about this movie was the beginning where we found Gore.
Yes.
Gore was the opening. Gore, his whole, like, gods must die, and I was like, wow, I'm really excited to see this. I'm like, this is going to be good, because it started out pretty good.
It started off on a stronger note than I was expecting.
It was started on a stronger note than I was expecting. And it just jumped right in. Like, it was weird. There was no, like, title screen or whatever. It just went right in. I'm like, okay.
Every MCU movie that starts off with the villain before the title card hits is pretty much always better.
Yes.
But then...
went down so bad.
It didn't even explode when it landed. It was like a wet thud.
Yeah.
Wet thud.
The best description of this, there are specific elements that I don't think are bad ideas. There are characters I don't mind. And there are some jokes which are funny-ish. This feels like a first draft of a movie that was clearly put on an assembly line. We all know about all Marvel properties are they're undercooked and sent out the door. It's kind of, it sounds like the same complaint every time, but it's clearly a serious fucking problem.
Phase 4 is a serious problem right now.
Yeah, there have been some high points, but there have been a lot of low points, and even those higher points have, like, an asterisk next to it, you know? This movie has a lot of decent ideas. There's a couple of costumes that are cool, there's some character interactions that are nice, but I think it fundamentally misunderstands most of the themes of Jason Aaron's entire Thor run, tries to compile them into one very short movie, and then, like, it just... Collin and I on the ride back were talking mad shit, of course, and we're sitting there and we're basically script doctoring the movie already. Like, the fact that it took one viewing and like 5 minutes of thinking to go, that could have been connected to this thing, and then if they had done this instead, that would have been more impactful when this happens. The most basic parts of screenwriting, like effective plotting, it doesn't have it. It feels like an expensive SNL skit, and... Well, Christian Bale is giving it his all, but he has nothing to work with. Chris Hemsworth is being funny, but there's no material, you know?
I have points.
I think...
I wasn't there for your script doctoring, but I have a big one. They go to the Hall of Gods to find Zeus, and all the gods are alive, even though Gore the God Butcher has been running rampant.
The fact...
Why?
But not that long. It hasn't been that long.
Thor kills more gods in this movie than Gore does.
Seriously.
That we see on screen. They say Gore is doing this. We see security footage. Why don't we see Gore actually doing stuff? Mm-hmm. We get the aftermath of him doing some stuff, and then there's no weight to anything. And I hate to just fall on the fact that it's a comedy as, like, this is the reason why this movie was never going to work. But... I think the God Butcher stuff really doesn't need to be in a serious movie, at least remotely serious. I think the Mighty Thor stuff and the idea that they wanted to do like an 80s romantic comedy romp was fine. I like that idea, and I think you could do that with Jane, but I don't think those two things should have been compiled into the same movie.
No.
Because the stuff with Jane, which was really hit or miss, that has more potential for the comedy aspect to it, versus the God Butcher stuff is supposed to be this incredibly serious, deep questioning of Thor's own existence and his place in the universe. But this movie, Thor doesn't change at all, really. Like, the character arcs here are pathetic. They're entirely unearned. Every emotional beat is either undercut by comedy, or if it's played genuinely, I can't take it seriously because they've done none of the legwork to make it work.
Another thing I have is... This thought hit me in the theater, and I love it. There's a scene where Christian Bale is in the freaking cage that he's got all the kids in. And he's sitting there, and he's acting all spooky, and he's scaring them. And he's playing his ass off. It was a great job by him. But I just started laughing in this actually serious scene because so many years of him being the Batman, and this is his best attempt at being the Joker now.
Yeah,
and he did well at it.
The thing, all I could think about was he is They turned Gore into a Bible Man villain.
Oof.
Ouch.
It's true.
It's true.
Think about it. Just everything from the from the stupid ass sword. They ruined the sword.
Yep.
And just how he acted. He just acted like a Bible Man villain.
I think the fundamental problem with the themes and the characters, or lack thereof, was obviously the MCU / Kevin Feige man have never really known what to do with Thor. This is well known. Thor 1 was great. They tried to replicate its success with Thor 2, but Kenneth Branagh did not want to return because he was tired. Patty Jenkins was going to come on, and then she ended up leaving because of creative differences. So they made basically a pale imitation of the first movie that no one really liked. For the most part, it's incredibly mid.
I defend that one more often than
also defend
other
it,
people.
But but you know what I mean. It doesn't have a lot to defend. It's incredibly mid.
Yeah.
It's not offensively bad. And then Ragnarok decides to, and I mean, even in Avengers, he's Whedonized. You know, we don't need to talk about that. In both Avengers movies with Whedon, and then Taika coordinated with the Russos to create an actual character arc, an evolution of his character, whereas in Ragnarok, the comedy would he would start being, a funny surfer bro man, like Chris Hemsworth is in real life, and the comedy would be a coping mechanism for all of the trauma and whatnot. And I don't love Ragnarok, but it works as a movie. It works. The comedy fulfills a purpose. It's, for the most part, actually crafted jokes that have a punchline. And then leading into Infinity War and Endgame, I thought was peak. They nailed the balance of comedy and drama. Thor being an emotional wreck, but having actual, internal conflict. All of that stuff was great. I commissioned Collin to make an art piece from those movies because
it sucked.
That's Colin's opinion. Because that was I genuinely enjoyed that, and it was actually impactful for me. And then what's the follow-up to that? We get, so Thor's lost basically everything. He's not king anymore. Asgard is now on Earth. It's become a tourist village. He has basically no friends except for Korg and the Guardians. There's just nothing here. He's like, I'm going to no longer do violence except when people ask me to, and I'm going to be selfish again. It's like, it's complete and utter rollback of his previous arc, and not in a he's relapsing type of way. He has no character. He's just a vehicle for jokes. And that's kind of offensive at that point. It hurts to watch, because they put in the effort last time to change his character in a way that was meaningful, and there's no follow-up to it.
Kind of felt like
they blew it.
It kind of felt like peak Thor was Infinity War right after Ragnarok.
Absolutely.
That's what he just said.
Yes. Also peak costuming, but that's aside the point.
Yes. Fuck you.
I wanted to like this movie. There are elements that I find to be good and smart. I like
Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder.
Are you talking about the goats?
Yes.
No.
What?
No.
That's literally a meme from 2014.
It's the goat scream.
It's screaming.
Yeah, I get that.
Screaming goats is like a decade old.
That they finally have the goats.
The
goats
that would have been fine.
Were
But
good
no,
in Jason Aaron's comics.
No,
they don't do anything in this movie except scream, though. They're only a vehicle for the
goats
joke.
are not gifts from other planet.
No,
the goats
I get
are.
that, but I just want goats.
Yeah, but he should have just had them from Asgard.
I want goat.
If we don't have them coming from Asgard, no goat.
We're goat.
No.
It's in name only.
Literally in.
Gore's characterization is off. Jane's characterization is off. Thor has no characterization in this movie. The story has very little in any sort of resemblance to the source material. The goats are only. I didn't even recognize that those were their names because they don't resemble what they were in the source material. It's a name drop for a name drop.
They killed Korg, and I was like, okay, I like that, and then they didn't.
I was fine with that fake out death because I thought it was funny to have his head tied to Valkyrie, but that was just me.
The only part of Korg that's alive is his face, apparently.
See, and that was the thing. Korg, I think, is a really good example of the stuff that's wrong with this movie and what works. Half of his jokes are funny. Usually the delivery is fine. Taika's a funny guy in and of himself. He's a decent performer. But Korg serves no purpose in this movie except to be funny. He is
and to be Thor's only friend.
Exactly. Instead of him, there's so many ways you could have integrated him into the story, or have him do something else. But the biggest impact he has on this story is getting a boyfriend and making a rock baby, like, which was funny. Admittedly, that was hilarious. But like, that's it.
His name's Dwayne. He's got a mustache.
He's the Rock. Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, I just got that. Dwayne the Rock. Oh my gosh. I just got that.
But then the other half of his jokes are just, let me tell you about the space Viking. Shut up. Just shut up, Cord.
That was awful. That whole, like, intro, that's like trying to steal, like,
the framing device.
That what's his face from Ant-Man. And that's not even funny.
No. Overall, I'm sad that this happened, because I have a feeling that they're going to try to revamp the character again, and it might not work this time.
We're getting into Batman and Robin territories, boys.
Oh boy. I'm interested in what the story could be moving forward with Thor having a surrogate child. I think that's interesting.
And
I don't mind it.
And it's his actual child in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cute.
That's cute.
But it doesn't do any of the work for that. And that's when a movie does the whole you should choose love over violence thing, which is a valid theme, but it's incredibly ham-fisted and silly. Like, it's an earnest decision. That's fine. But this movie does none of the emotional work for that decision to make any sense. I have some ideas on where those characters are gonna go. She's kind of a unique creation, so I think that's interesting.
I think you should wrap it up.
I like the fact they included Eternity. I just wish he wasn't blown in this movie.
I don't know who the fuck Eternity is.
In the end sequence with Eternity, there's a bunch of statues of the other more primordial beings of the Marvel Universe, and that was cool. There was even a statue of the one above all. That was weird. I did not expect that.
In the Hall of the Gods, or whatever it is, you see Celestials in there, too. So
yes, just the fact that it was Omnipotent City. Why the fuck was it not Mount Olympus? I'm sorry, that's just offensively retarded. But we could have the funny dumpling god. If we don't make it just the Greeks, we could do the funny dumpling god.
Yeah. All the gods could have orgy.
Okay, the orgy jokes were funny.
You do not get that block.
Actually, that was funny. You are not invited. No orgy for you.
Russell Crowe was funny.
He was great.
I will take that. It just
trying to flick the clothes off of Jane.
I mean, dude, yes, but like, what's the potential of what Thor's childhood hero being a washed-up, pathetic loser? There's so much drama to mine from that, and they're like, nah, just play it for laughs.
Never listen to your heroes, little children. Never meet them. No.
The axe and hammer jokes didn't get old, though. I don't care. Those are so overplayed, but I still find them funny. Where he's cheating on his weapon, I don't care. It's funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, this was.
I found most of the humor in this dumb.
Most of it was.
I didn't laugh.
I laughed like twice, and it was like a chuckle. I exhaled out of my nose a couple of times, but most of it was me looking at Collin with Jim from The Office face.
Yes.
This was one of their worst entries by a long shot.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Bottom of the list.
Yep.
Okay, end me. Sorry.
F tier. I have a fun story. No. I went to Jetpack and I found Kyle and what's his name, Daddy? Rich.
What's his name, Daddy Rich? I wonder if will he ever. Wait, are you gonna keep that in the edit?
Yes.
What if he hears that?
I specifically told them that I mentioned Kyle multiple times by name last week, and they boosted it. So
nice.
Someone must listen or not care.
And I told them about my dilemma. I tried reading Justice League Dark, the first trade paperback, and for some reason, issue number 4 was missing. And the rest of the book kind of has a big deal with what happens in issue number 4. So I was trying to find that issue and maybe the Wonder Woman tie-in. And they were like, okay. They knew what I was talking about. I said, do you think I can find the tie-in issues in the back room where all the single issues are? They said, definitely. That's a recent run. We had a whole bunch of those definitely check it out. So I go out back, and I'm looking. Kyle comes by a few minutes later, and he had already checked all the boxes in the front of the store, and he came out back and was trying to help me find what I was looking for in the back room, too. Like, he went out of his way trying to help me out. We couldn't find anything. I went back to the counter with books that I was going to purchase, and Rich found a trade paperback with all the issues I needed for this storyline. He said, check it out, it's cheap on eBay or whatever. So I found it on Amazon by the time I got back to my car. So, that huge story, just to say, the people at Jetpack are super helpful. But this week, I read Wonder Woman and Justice League Dark The Witching Hour, a trade paperback. It has Wonder Woman and Justice League Dark The Witching Hour number 1, Wonder Woman number 56 and 57, Justice League Dark number 4, and Justice League Dark and Wonder Woman The Witching Hour number 1. I don't know why you have the same issue, but the team swapped and it's still number 1. I don't get it.
Because yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
Spooky booby.
Boobies!
Not really. I mean, it's spooky, but not a whole lot of booby. You do get a really cool possessed Wonder Woman because the power of Hecate is all summoned up in her
Did you say
body. Hecate. Don't challenge me.
It's Hecate.
It is not!
It is Hecate.
It is not!
That's a main villain in Hellboy.
We've
Hecate.
been over this like 15 times, but he doesn't care.
Boobs.
Let
He
Jacob
pulled it up.
mispronounce something.
He pulled it up on Google and it said it my way. On air.
Google is a woman, so...
Google's wrong. Because she's a woman.
That's not true. You can change her to a man.
Boobies.
I'm...
Wait, how do I do that?
Yeah.
Oh my
help me,
gosh.
Spencer out.
One of my biggest complaints from Justice League Dark, the first trade paperback, was that Zatanna
Paperback.
did not have a huge part in the story. And she got a large portion of this story in Witching Hour. And that made me happy. Apparently, the goddess that nobody can pronounce splits up her power over...
Hecate.
It's Hecate!
Nope.
Heckity, wickety, sickety, doo! I put a curse on you! Splits up her power over 5 people in the world at all times. For some reason, magic is weird and stuff. Wonder Woman gets it. Most of it. And then she loses the magic stamp. And then at the end of the book, they go, wait a minute. Who is the 5th person? And that 5th person is like, I have all the power! And then they say they're going to deal with that in the rest of Justice League Dark. Wow. It was nice to have the story. It pisses me off that it isn't included in Justice League Dark's trade. Much annoying. I got it for $12. Cover price is $17. Wow.
You know, if you smack the book one more time, I think Hecate will come and put a curse on it.
Jeez.
When is Jacob so irresponsible with his books? You're not the real Jacob, you're the CIA plant Jacob.
The FBI agent on your app is laughing right now.
I'm sure he is.
All right,
Collin.
talk to us about the boys.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I need to get off Reddit. I'm done on Reddit for the day. Whoa, okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Alright, I don't want to know what he found. So, The Boys Season 1.
Yep.
The one that came out in 2019.
My favorite part was when A-Train was introduced.
Wait, what?
My favorite part.
You mean the murder part?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's my favorite part.
Okay, so everyone kind of knows what The Boys is, but a brief summary of the first season. All the superheroes are controlled by a mega corporation, and there's a team of non-powered people trying to take them down because all of the heroes are like the worst degenerative pieces of shit on the planet.
Makes sense that all that heroes would just be branding devices.
Yes. They're just... Ooh.
Here are the voices you can pick for your Google Assistant.
If you like this voice and want me to
To keep using it, just stop here.
Here are the
Voices.
voices you can pick for your Google Assistant.
If you like this voice and
Want me to keep using it, just stop here.
I want to hear the last two.
Do it again, do it again, do it again.
Yeah, do it again. Oh wait, there's more than just two. What the fuck?
I want to hear the purple one.
I want to keep hearing them. Come on.
Here are the voices you can pick.
Oh, I like that one.
If you like this voice
Keep going.
and want me
Keep
to
going.
keep using
Keep going.
it, just
Keep going.
stop here.
Shut up!
No, because we can hear it. We can hear it. You don't need to hear the
Here are
whole
voices
sentence.
you can pick for your
Google Assistant.
That's my.
Want me to keep using it? Just stop here.
I like the last one.
Here are the voices you can pick for your Google Assistant.
She's
If
Australian.
you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just stop here.
It's a toss-up between the Australian one and the British
Here
one.
are the voices you can pick
Oh,
for your
boy.
Google Assistant.
Anyways.
Hot.
So, yes, the non-powered people would like to take down the soups for various personal and non-personal reasons.
Very personal, mainly.
Mostly. They're all analog characters of superheroes from DC and Marvel. No need to really explain. They're all pretty obvious. The Seven, which is the ripoff of the Justice League, is inducting a new member whose name is Starlight. She's great.
She's very naive.
She's...
Because they murder a character. Oh wait, no, there's an opening because Lamplighter is gone.
Yes, because Lamplighter died, supposedly. Anyways, so everyone heard about the first season when it came out because it was very, at the time, shocking. And I think that's the biggest gripe I have with the first season is there's two things. One, I think the color grading is unnecessarily harsh. I understand that they were really trying to riff on the DC universe, and that's fine. It just it evens out more in season 2 and 3, and where it's still very heavily stylized, but it's a lot less egregious. And the shock value in the first season is a lot of the choices that they make and the way that they're presented is done for the shock value of holy shit, what are they going to do next week? How could they get any worse? And while the show continues doing that throughout season 2 and 3, it feels a lot less like the show's trying to grab headlines on real news sites. Now
You won't believe what the boys did this week.
Exactly. Versus now, they're just doing it because that's what the show does. That's what the comics did, and that's the point. Versus in the beginning, it felt like it was more so to grab attention than it was necessarily just for story reasons. But beyond that, I really, really liked the first season. I thought the chemistry between Huey and Annie/Starlight is phenomenal.
I like Huey.
I do like Huey.
I relate.
I like his dad. He's very cool. In the not cool ways, you know?
Simon Pegg.
He was originally gonna be Huey, but he aged out of the role.
Yeah. Because Huey was inspired by him.
Right. I think the tonal balance between being really serious and having some good comedy in it really helps the show go down well. It doesn't come across as in poor taste, whereas the book is a full-out parody of superhero comics, and sometimes it does come across in poor taste. I don't think it is trying to be in poor taste, but sometimes it just doesn't taste good, you know?
Tastes like piss.
I'm sure Collin likes that.
Some days.
Collin, what do
He
you
likes
do? You
it
have any
some
more
days.
thoughts on season 1? Please make lots of milk jokes.
Mommy Milkers, Homelander, big milky guy, loves milk, milk kink. His new nickname is Mother's Milk. Hates babies because he big baby. Maeve pisses me off.
Interesting. See, the one thing which I just want to say now is we still don't know why Mother's Milk is named Mother's Milk, because in the comics he is a soup and there's a reason for it. It's a whole thing.
If you would read the comic.
It's fucking weird.
I don't want to read the comic.
It's
I'll just
weird.
watch 3 seasons of a TV show
Yeah.
based on the comic.
Why would I want to... It's not even based off the comics anymore. Why would I want to read The Boys?
To be fair, once we get into season 3, it's really not based on the comics anymore,
Right.
which is, I think, a good thing. Overall, the action is fine. It's not bad, but in season 1, it's definitely pretty rough. It's hard to use the soups in interesting ways that don't blow up the budget, particularly because you have people like Homelander who are like basically just he's Superman, so he can do anything. And they specifically put Homelander in situations where he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't really have to extend any energy. He doesn't have to fight people. He just shoots them with his eyeballs and he's done. It's a nice demonstration of how the character doesn't actually do any real work, but also probably for budgetary reasons, because if he started fighting people, the city would get leveled. Mm-hmm. I quite like season 1. Jacob, you got more stuff? Give me more stuff.
Hecate.
It's wrong. It's Hecate. Hecate sounds so stupid anyways. Hecate, wickety!
I read Suicide Squad Get Joker, written by Brian Azzarello.
Suicide Squad, get pegged!
Arted by
That's what
Alex Maleev.
Yeah, I thought he was the artist.
Yes.
Alex Maleev. And colored by Matt Hollingsworth. So, the Suicide Squad is created again by big mean lady Amanda Waller, right?
Yes, Waller.
Okay.
How do you not remember that?
I don't know.
She's
I'm
in
dumb.
everything.
Amanda Waller. And leading the team this time is not Harley Quinn, but Jason Todd. And they're being hired to get Joker. Whoa.
I also just read this one pretty recently, so I might tag team in here. I'm sorry. I'm gonna steal all your airtime.
He's just gotta shove his dick in everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk, actually.
You're not my dad.
You're not my real
I think
dad.
we can all
I was
agree.
really excited that it was gonna be a Red Hood centric book.
Will you shut the fuck up? It's not your review.
And then you got this book, and you said, ah. Yeah. In the first issue, Joker kill Amanda Waller, but not really. And he gets the boombox that blows up the Suicide Squad. And then the second issue, Harley does a striptease to try to get to Joker. Collin, calm down.
Booba? Can I see?
No.
Fuck!
Buy the book.
No. What? Why?
You've got 4 or 5 of my books right now.
Just let me see!
No.
I want to see the booba!
Google it.
The end of the second issue has another Suicide Squad going after this Suicide Squad because they've been excommunicado. They've been given up and abandoned, and they're no longer the Suicide Squad now. And then the third issue is kind of just a big fight scene, and then we find Joker on a beach, and Red Hood walks up, and there's a gunshot, and nobody really knows how it ends. This is a pretty shitty book. I was very heavily disappointed, because I like the idea of Suicide Squad getting Joker. But as soon as he got a hold of the boombox, I was like, oh no. And it was pretty terrible. It cost $25 for the hardcover, and I wish I paid anyone $8. It's pretty too bad, because Brian Azzarello is usually pretty solid, but this sucked.
Yeah, it
This
felt
sucked
like
hard.
Suck butt cheek
The-
and ball.
Yeah.
the third issue was also delayed by multiple months, and it still feels like an absolute rush job. There's a few ideas that are kind of hinted at, which I found vaguely interesting, but the good
Say it.
idea. Execution was done badly.
Yeah!
I like the idea of what the ending few panels were talking about, but there's no real character work in the book. There's so much just kind of sitting there and talking, and all of the character voices, when you internally, you have the voice that you read a character in, they kind of all blend together in this book because 2 of them have really thick accents, and those ones also die. And then everyone else just kind of talks very similar to each other.
One of the accents changes quite often, too.
That
It was
was
like,
so
wait,
annoying.
what?
I don't understand how this book came about from a really killer team. It comes across like it was supposed to be a tie-in to the movie, but it doesn't feature that lineup of characters up until the end, and they're only there for a couple of panels. Like, this team is entirely different than the Suicide Squad team, so I don't know why they rushed this book out.
The first issue also had a nice full 2 pages of no, you're privileged. No, you're privileged. No, you're privileged.
That was very cringe. This was also Malev's weakest art that I've seen. Some of it was okay.
I still like it.
It
It's
doesn't
clean.
look bad. It's just, it comes across as too clean for him. It
For a 3-issue storyline, I wouldn't mind it.
Eh.
Like, it makes the story look unique. Like, oh, that's that Suicide Squad book. That sucked.
I guess. There was one thing which I did genuinely like, and that was the fact that Jason Todd thinks of Alfred as mom, and that's funny. Right at the beginning, he's like, I got a cool dad and a cool mom, and then it shows Alfred. It's like, that's nice. I pretty much agree with everything you just said. It was not good.
Also, I don't think it's going to age well either, even if it had been good, because there's this character with a COVID mask on, and it hides her power, which is fine, I guess, but can we please stop referencing COVID? Everybody wants to forget about it.
I'm gonna tickle your balls.
I want to suck your mom's balls.
Okay. You do that.
Have fun.
Collin, we get to talk about Stormfront now.
Gross. She grossed me out, dude.
Yes, so Boys Season 2 came out in 2020. It has a very short time jump between Season 1 and Season 2, and now we get a new hero who's a literal Nazi. We get a lot of backstory for Mother's Milk and other members of Da Boys. And then we get all this weird corporate espionage, secret experiment stuff with Lamplighter and, like, this facility with soups and soup babies and stuff. I really like Lamplighter. Also, his powers are incredibly OP if you do the science. It's fucking insane. That was nice.
Lamplighter's a piece of shit.
Well,
Killing
yes.
himself. I wanted to do it in front of my statue. My dad would be so proud.
I mean, mildly based, maybe?
No.
Yes.
No. What a fucking little bitch. You can't deal with life.
I mean, also true. I really like the fact that this season focuses on pulling Butcher back from being a homicidal maniac a little bit, and him understanding that he needs to take care of Ryan at the end. Also, Rip Becca, big fat Rip.
His poor wife. Dead.
I think this is the best season out of the 3.
Wow.
I think it's the most even keeled in terms of, like, pacing, as well as visuals and writing quality. All the characters are balanced really well. They fit the dynamic very snugly, but also the story has, like, massive, ginormous, gahongus hairy balls. Because this... So I was talking to Collin about this when we were talking about Season 3. So the book, the Boys comic is a parody. This show is satire. There's a distinction there. And it's tricky to nail that. But the fact that this show can so openly criticize and make fun of various sorts of people and their shitty opinions in such an open and blatant manner without any enlightened centrist bullshit about both sides are equally bad type crap, and it's like, no, most Americans agree with a lot of things that Nazis think. They just don't like the word Nazi. The balls on that was fucking insane, and it's pretty fucking true statistically. So, like, just those sorts of things, and the way that it tackled, like, online radicalization with memes was very relevant, and it felt well thought out and more timely. And also Stormfront being a woman was very interesting. I have no real thoughts on her being a woman. I just thought it was interesting because they're like, what if it's not Homelander's dad, but it's a woman and he bones her aggressively with lasers?
What if he lasers her titties?
Collin is not going to be in this episode.
I mean, no, he's correct.
Just going to be edited out.
Collin is correct. That's a thing that happens
I
numerous
know.
times. I don't know. I like where the characters go. I like how off the rails it gets in terms of, like, using the boys' books as inspiration and a lot of, like, direct parallels, but twisting and turning it so much that it's a whole different beast. I think that genuinely takes like really good writing skills, and that
Kind of like what MCU movies should do.
yes, what they should do, like be good. Colin, do you have any more thoughts on season 2?
Maeve still pisses me off. She's such an asshole. I can't wait to hate her even more in season 3.
Oh boy.
Season 1, I really like how we are diving more into Huey and Butcher's relationship and how it's getting a little rocked around and they are not liking each other and they have to deal with each other. But then we realize that, oh, he's his canary. And stuff like that. I just really like... I enjoy, I think, a character's individual, like, relationships more than I actually like the overarching stories.
I agree. Watching the character dynamics, which I think definitely flourished in season 2, just watching them go on their own little side plots is very nice. They're developed as like actual people instead of it just being about Huey and Butcher and Homelander and that's it. Like they're all given not equal but pretty equivalent screen time.
Did you have the villain of season 2 spoiled for you?
No.
Did you have it figured out?
Yes.
Dang.
The name Stormfront is the name of a Nazi publication.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Season 2.
The AOC character.
Oh, I had a suspicion. She's more of a villain in season 3.
Well, it's the setup for season 3.
The final twist that Congressman Newman is the head-popping soup thing. No, I had suspicions, but I didn't sort it out entirely.
It was well done.
I thought that it was well done. It didn't seem out of left field. Also hot. You'll like where they take her in season 3. There's a lot of very interesting stuff there.
I haven't seen it.
I know, you should get on it.
I like it when Red Hood has his Robin costume.
Yes. Oh goodness. Jacob,
Hello.
what else have you been up to?
Ugh. I watched the unrated version of Sin City, and it's still Sin City. Like
How many
there's-
extra footages?
I have no idea. I watched the original Sin City a while ago, and this viewing seemed exactly the same. I have no idea. And I don't really have thoughts on Sin City. So I think I'll just take a question.
Wowza.
That was fast.
Who, if you were given a Suicide Squad book or movie in any continuity, it doesn't matter, to write whatever, who would be the target? Not who's on your team, who's the target and why? He is actually smiling today.
I have a target. I'm trying to figure out why. I've talked often about Injustice, how one of the strongest points from that whole story was how Green Arrow and Harley Quinn get along. Mm-hmm. So I think Green Arrow being the target would be a lot of fun, because he's kind of Batman-y, but not fully. He's definitely his own character. So
Batman without the drag of a cape.
he could hide pretty well.
He's Batman without the emotional damage.
So
That's true.
to have Harley going after him, it with a Suicide Squad would be a lot of fun. And then to also have Black Canary help defend or protect Green Arrow would be interesting.
Now I just want to watch a Black Canary versus Harley Quinn fight. I want to go watch Birds of Prey again. Anyways.
Bonk.
Yes, bonk. I think this
I
is
was
valid.
scared you were going to ask me to build a Suicide Squad team, and that gets rough.
Assemble your best Avengers team.
No,
What is
I
this,
can.
What is this, a Watch Mojo list? We know you can't, Colin.
It'd be all...
It's all Harley Quinns.
All the women.
You're very close.
Huntress would definitely be on the crew.
Well, yes.
Which one?
I don't freaking know. The purple one.
Huntress from Brave and the Bold.
Oh my gosh.
Specifically Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because whenever she's with Batman, she's touching his ass. Even though in some comics that's her dad.
I just really want... I mean, I agree with you. I just really want good Green Arrow stuff. Because there's most of Green Arrow's comics are phenomenal. But Arrow was bad. And very not actually Green Arrow's character. The character of Green Arrow...
I'm the real first vigilante superhero.
Exactly. Green Arrow, his actual personality is insanely more interesting than anything that's portrayed him so far. And I think it's really lame. I want him to have a movie or a series. I need him to appear in a Birds of Prey spinoff. I need him to fuck Black Canary, and I need them to be a couple because they are the best couple. Even though they punch each other all the time. It's not abusive, I swear.
It's therapy.
Exactly.
She's a licensed therapist.
That is true. The Boys Season 3 is all about dads and impotence. And I was very happy that I was able to nail the themes very early on because every single character, there's a big time jump. Every single character is shown trying to adapt to a new situation and failing. They all feel like they've been muzzled or bridled or like handcuffed to something. Butcher is trying to go on the straight and narrow. He's trying to be sober and watch over Ryan and stop swearing so much. And MM is trying to keep his OCD in line and not punch people in the face and all that sort of stuff, even though he is now divorced and his kid has 2 different homes and he's trying to deal with that.
And has a Nazi stepfather.
Oh boy, yeah, that whole thing. And then we have Frenchie, who's always felt like he's been attacked a lot as being like a dog. Like he's everyone's bitch.
I felt so bad for Frenchie.
It was rough.
That
Frenchie.
Russian chick pissed me off so much.
That's the thing,
I
though, is
fucking
she is
hate
right.
her.
And that is the thing, is that Frenchie needs to stop doing that. Is Frenchie doesn't stand up for himself, he just kind of falls in line to whoever's biggest and loudest. And he needs to move away from that, and Kimiko helps him with that. Kimiko has
I love Kimiko.
She has her powers taken away, so she literally feels impotent. Huey is a little bitch and feels like a little bitch all season, so he starts taking drugs so he can save his girlfriend that doesn't need saving because he's so fucking toxic about it. And Homelander is Homelander, so he always feels like someone's trying to get in his way.
Soldier Boy is
Soldier
based and red pilled.
No. I mean, no.
In Reddit terms, yes.
Yes.
In real life, no.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
I
Yes,
really appreciated
no.
how clear the theming and character arcs for this season. It was a lot cleaner than the previous 2 seasons, I think, in terms of character work and interactions. They're really going, quote-unquote, off-script now about the comic stuff. Like, they completely changed Black Noir's character, which was really cool.
Good.
The little animals.
I love the animals. He got fucked hard. Like,
Yeah.
when Soldier Boy realized that what they're planning on doing, he's the reason. Soldier Boy is the reason why he's the way he is.
Yes.
His fucking face and his head all broken and shit.
The different team dynamics was really cool. We have more heroes from the past coming in who are representatives of
Love
other
Sausage
heroes.
came back.
Yeah, we got Love
He got
Sausage.
burnt dick.
Yeah, he did.
Did he screw a planet yet?
No.
Yet?
That happens in a comic.
It's a thing. Soldier Boy was not a character I expected to like because I thought he was gonna come across as like a retooled Stormfront because one, in the comics, Stormfront was a dude and was kind of Homelander's dad, so I thought that they were gonna like fuck around with that, and they did, but it was in a way that I felt worked. It was a similar ideological approach to it, but from a far more understandable lens. We see and hear a little bit about more of what Soldier Boy went through, which was bad, but it doesn't excuse him being horrible. He's arguably worse than Homelander in certain senses because he consciously chooses to be worse. Versus Homelander, quote-unquote, doesn't know any better. He's a baby. He has daddy problems, whatever. Fucking Soldier Boy is, like, actively choosing to be evil, in a sense. He's incredibly selfish in a weird way because he's what Homelander is without the insecurities. Homelander is a people pleaser in a way. He's always trying to get everyone's approval. He wants his approval ratings to go up. He wants everyone to love him for the wrong reasons and whatever. Soldier Boy doesn't fucking care. He's just going to do it, like whatever it is. So he thinks that Homelander is pathetic, which he is, and they end up doing lots of smashy stuff and lots of spoilers.
Maeve is such a fucking bitch to Huey, and it pisses me off. She's like, you just screamed and you're a fucking bottom and asking to get fucked.
That joke
I'm like,
was really funny.
no, that pissed me off. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Leave Huey alone, you bitch.
I mean,
Get the fuck out of here.
Huey was a massive this season. It was very painful watching him actively choose to be a moron and then reel himself back in. Homelander kind of has DID now, and that's weird. I don't know if I entirely buy it. I still don't know how I feel about it, but it's
so glad Maeve won't become that bitch.
It's a type of twist on the Black Noir clone thing from the books, and I think it's interesting. I just don't know how well they're gonna follow through with it in season 4 and potentially 5. I think they said that. I don't remember if they said that 4 was gonna be the end or if they're gonna do 5 seasons, but whatever.
The definitive answer to ending a show is 6 seasons, so I hope we end it on 5.
I think 5 is about the limit for sure.
6 is the cutoff.
I really liked this season, but it did feel like some of the character arcs, not that they felt disconnected from each other. They had the same themes running through them, but the characters themselves were segmented from each other. They were all off in their own corners doing their own stuff, and they barely interacted with each other all season, and I didn't like that. I liked how they all accidentally met up at Herogasm. That was kind of nice. A-Train is on a better road, kind of.
No.
An improvement. It's a spoiler, but whatever. I think his apology was genuine.
To his brother?
No, I mean, yes. No, to Huey. I genuinely think
it definitely
he's
was.
starting to understand what's going on. I think it's going to take him a little bit because unlike the Deep, who is pathetic and will not learn, I
actually thought that the Deep was going to learn something in season 2.
Yeah,
I actually
too.
thought he was going to go somewhere, and they did. And
then they're like, nah, he's still a bitch. I like that.
Yeah.
I think season 4 could potentially have A-Train being their guy on the inside for a little bit. I don't know how they're gonna pan out with the whole he's still murdered Huey's girlfriend and has done lots of murder.
Or his own girlfriend.
That too. But I think they're gonna not try to redeem him. Like, he's not gonna be a good person, but he's gonna get better. And I buy it, which is the thing I didn't think I was gonna buy, because in season 1, he's almost as bad as Homelander. He's detestable.
I love that they made fun of Kylie Jenner in this.
That was so funny. They did a mock on the Pepsi ad. That was great.
So good.
I really like this season. I have ideas on where season 4 is going to go, but that's speculation and that's filled with spoilers. And Jacob needs to watch season 3.
And gay.
You're gay.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to our show. We appreciate it. If you appreciate us a great deal, please consider going over to patreon.com/dimecomicbros. We have 3 different tiers you can sign up for. We have one person that we would love to thank.
Jeff.
And that would be
Jeff
Lawrence.
Jeff, we love you.
We love Jeff Lawrence.
I love Jeff Lawrence.
He apparently loves us.
Wow.
If you are not Jeff Lawrence, and if you love us, please go to Patreon.
And be more like Jeff.
And be like Jeff.
Be like Jeff.
Give us money, we give you stuff.
Yep.
We say your name in sultry, seductive voices.
Jeff Lawrence.
Collin, you can't be sexy if you try.
Fuck!
We love Jetpack Comics and Games in downtown Rochester, New Hampshire. They provide us with all of the materials to feed our addiction. It's not a very good relationship, but it works. They have comics. Lots of comics. I actually need to stop by there today and pick up a book I bought that got signed by a dude that arted the book I bought. So, that's really cool.
Next week,
News.
news.
We
will talk no nudes.
Fuck!
Just news.
Nude dudes.
And we will reconvene the council and ponder the news orb. Dead meme.
It's not dead meme.
Pondering your orb is like 2 months old. That's dead.
It's like 2 months old. That's
It's
so
like-
fucking dead.
It's
The
like
official Halo Twitter account started memeing about it. It's dead. Companies are using it. It's dead. Holy shit.
Holy shit! It's officially dead because companies are using it. It's Morbin time, guys.
Yeah, that died as soon as Jared Leto acknowledged it.
Yeah, I know. That's when I knew that died.
Yes, tune in next week. We have social media. Go follow us and stuff.
I post funny pictures on social media.
Yeah, Jacob likes photoshopping me onto women.
Not just you. I've done me and Collin too. Collin's next.
Oh boy.
His is the best one. Let me tell you about my my feminist agenda.
Collin is gonna get the femboy ray in a minute.
Nice.
I have some.
And so I said,
Okay, I need to pee and get coffee now. Editing this one's gonna be a bitch.
Yeah, because Collin keeps dropping the C-bomb.
so with Mike, I think
More
it's.
bingus.
You need a cup.
I think that Mike doesn't really know anything about Nazis, and it's just an aesthetic thing.
Can you open it up?
don't disagree. I don't think it's inherently a bad thing though.
No, it's not. It's fun.
Can you open it up? I want to see the inside.
Yeah,
Mike is way more interested in mythology than he is ideology.
and that's fine. That's fine.
It would be good if
I think it's
being
fun
like a
because it's
6-year-old
mainly
man-
it's mainly a
It's not just
humor thing.
for sure, and that's
That's fine.
Playing Nazis as retarded idiots is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Because they are
Yes.
retarded white idiot dudes.
Yes.
Always.
It
Oops.
would probably be good if Mike did some research, being a 6-year-old man, but he does seem to be pretty.
He does a lot of fucking research in folklore.
You know what I mean, though. It'd be
Yeah.
like maybe that'd be good. But he's a really solid dude outside of his work.